Oh, Jeremiah coming in with the Sabi on YouTube. That is a solid start if I've ever seen one. Thank you. Thank you, da good man. How are we going, lovely humans? Noyade! Welcome, welcome. How is it possible that I found the game here and now I can't find it again?
Bad news.
No, no bad news. Shush your face. Yes, Noye, thank you, buddy. We are doing golden. Derpy. Derpy in the house. Oh, yes, this is the game I wanted to have a look-see at. Okay. I have got an agenda for today, ladies. And so now, as usual, we are going to begin our stream. Let me alert everybody that we're live. All right, let's begin. Let's begin, and the way we begin, as per new routine, if somebody plays too defensively and passively, is there a course or book that you recommend? Yes, well, CPR development would be a good start for you. With regards to book, some game collections of aggressive players like Alekine, Morphy, Tal. Those would be nice. Get a coach who beats that stupid habit out of you. That would be another one. So there are many ways about it. ChessCoachAndras@gmail.com, as always. Alright, so we want to go through the weekly puzzles as a warm-up into the stream before we go on to agenda. So let's do that. I need to quickly jump to this cut. Oh, Tikari, sick. Hi, yeah. No, send it again by all means. I have been very slack and haven't responded to emails for a week. It's not you. I probably have read it and I just was a douchebag and I didn't get back to you. So feel free to resend it and then I will take it from there. Right. We'll either do one or 2 weeks of weeklies. Oh, no, yeah, way too kind. Thank you. Does the CCA stand for Canadian, by the way, in that description? Against the grains. Thank you. Okay, white to move. How do we do this? I want the chat to shine today, so I'm not gonna solve. Tanner in the house. Hey. Welcome. Lovely humans. Indeed, Rook A5. Tikari is unbeatable even when unwell. Is that sick is like you have a cold, or is it something I should be more concerned about, Mr. Tikari? Okay, let's go. Chat to solve again. Yeah, right. Okay. So basically, man up, right? Like, act like a grown-up, shake it off in a day, and that's it. Yan, welcome in. Welcome. Bishop 3, thank you very much. Let's get the kindergartens out of the way. Next. I mean, come on, like, it's so embarrassing. Let's move on. Next. Now this is a quite neat checkmate. I will let you solve this. This is pretty neat. This is pretty neat. Remember the attacking mantra that will leave by checks, captures, threats. That's gonna get you this puzzle solved in less than a minute. Professor, hey. What do I think of the 95 line in the Slav? Doesn't white get a huge center? No. Are you playing the Slav with white or black? If you're playing it with black, you should have my course, which would explain the answer. If you play it with white, I'm surprised you ask it, because you should know that There is about one line in the 95 line where white gets to keep a large center, and in the other two they don't. So no, life is a bit more complicated. So do you have a... I will cover that for you in a minute when we are done with the puzzles, but yeah. Aaron, you are golden, buddy. Your coordinates are a bit off, but that is the solution. So the idea is to give a check here. The rook block is irrelevant. The point is to see that this is gonna be made. Good job. Good job. This is also still within the too easy category, so let's go. Jazz, welcome in, welcome in. ChessCoachAndras, you cheeky bastard. Now that guy is definitely Aussie. Thankfully he didn't call me the C word. That would have been the ultimate giveaway for being an Aussie, but cheeky bastard is pretty close. You can always ask anything at all. We are always open and honest here. So do we have the answer for this, ladies, or what's cooking? Easiest way to improve at strategy and positional chess? I would say annotated games. Deep analysis of annotated games. Preferably with a person who is better than you, but also doable by yourself. That's what she said too, but yeah. Sorry guys, I am now multitasking because I'm talking to a student who's going to have a game tomorrow that we need to have a prep for. So what is the solution to the puzzle? Let's go. That is correct, Professor. Do you have a HD picture of the board in your mind and you can do moves on it the way you're clicking through different variations during analysis? This question has been asked lately a lot of times. I mean, I will be honest with you, I don't even know what I picture in my head when I calculate in my head. It's just somehow there. I think it's one of those topics that people like to mystify and talk about at unnecessary length. Like, do whatever works for you, man. If you want to imagine the board in 2D, do 2D. If you better see 3D, do 3D. I really don't think it makes any difference. Deep analysis by YouTubers is helpful. Yes, as long as that YouTuber is me. The problem with the YouTubing thing is that you do not have a chance to ask questions. Well, you can. You do not have a chance to receive answers, I should rather say. So that's the issue there. Oh, Davies! Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. We're way too kind. Look, I got the worst answer for you because I don't know what it looks like. And if I think 10 pros will tell you 10 different things. Damn, thank you. So, yeah, I don't think that there is like a general consensus of what it looks like. And I once again think that it's irrelevant. This is still kindergarten puzzle, by the way, so can we just get this out of the way very quickly? Yeah, exactly, Timba. Exactly, like it's a kindergarten mate in very few moves. I'm almost insulted. Also, Riffle Strike, while we are at it, I also think that blindfold chess in general and the ability to play blindfolded chess is a massively overhyped skill. Massively overhyped. I understand where these questions come from because visualization is typically the skill that most low-rated players have struggles from. But yeah, there are no clear answers there because many people do it in many different ways. So yeah, it's kind of tricky. It really is. And again, like there are so many ways to skin the cat. In the end, the how is irrelevant. The outcome is important, that you somehow, one way or another, you do see what you want. I know it's probably the most dissatisfying answer, but that's the best I have for you. Hey Dave, welcome into the chess stream that very clearly is not about playing, but I really would like you to stay with us and appreciate the beauty of the game of chess and how we improve at it as we go on. So this puzzle is about the phenomenon of crosspins, by the way, and this is actually the end of a study. So the idea here is that bishop c5, bishop d6 seems sufficient, but then we have queen e5, which creates a beautiful crosspin effect. And then I think it's gonna go on with king g8, bishop d6, and then check, and then we will create the same effect on the f6 pawn. It's actually quite breathtaking. Watch this. So check. I thought it was queen e5, not f4, but that's a good question. Yeah, no, it has to be e5, because if you go to f4, then there's king e7. So that's why it's queen e5. Now we take this, and now we rinse, repeat, we check. And now we go queen g5 to recreate the same theme. Note how queen g5 also cuts out the check on d2. And now we just check, and take the queen. Ah, okay, they didn't go there. David, I suspect that you sent me that batch of subs so that we can have a look at your game. Jazz, I'm calling bullshit on that. What part of this was above your pay grade? I swear to God, if I told you that this was a study solve it, you would have solved it in 5 minutes. No, actually less than 5. I'm 100% convinced. Because the only thing you need to know is the crosspin idea. And once you discover this, it's like, the rest is done. Done, gone. Nah, that's you not having an idea about how good a player you are. It's a textbook case of completely misjudging your skills. No, that's not. You are, once again, you are way too wrong, Jazz. The problem is not that I put way too much belief in you. The problem is that you put way too little belief in yourself. That's exactly the problem. It's actually the polar opposite of what you just said. Alright, let's do one more. No, I want a full week. Wait, how did I do that? Yeah, okay, let's start here. So just check, and we pick off the rook. So I will do the easy one so that we don't have to worry about life. Take. That's an overloaded queen. Liquid up to. That is the way to play chess according to Tal as well. Not to mention many others. So, no worries. This is bishop g5 trapping the queen. On c. Oh, knight d4 is a countermeasure. And then we can pull back to d1 to control these two squares, and we are winning. Yep, nice. Very nice. Very nice. So this looks like there's a check here, there's a check here, there's a check here. Rook c2 definitely loses to king d4. I don't believe in e5 because there are myriads of checks and bishop d1 also holds the mate. So it's check, check, and mate. Done. I think Magnus won Title Tuesdays a lot more than once when he was drunk. I think it's a lot more than one. Hey, just Twitch chatter. Yeah, good, good, mate, good. Cannot complain. When I'm drunk, I can't even tie my shoes. I don't drink, so I can't relate. I've never been drunk in my life. Now, this has very strong Rook c4 vibes to me. But maybe I'm wrong. No, it's Rook c4, Knight c5, Rook check, Queen takes, and then Queen c7 mate. That is quite nice. Fuck! I had an inkling that... Oh, maybe it's check first and then check and... Oh, okay. Then it's... Yeah, sorry, Yeah, I didn't do what I teach to do. Oops. Mate in one. That was a red hot mess. All the way checks, baby. Like this. Check here, and mate. How is this harder puzzle than the previous one? Hello? What? Ay. And then last. Oh, fuck. Okay, this is gonna be another study. Right, so the natural move is king check, right? Oh, okay, I think I understand what this study is about. So it looks like you just go king check, the king buggers off, and you win the queen, yeah? But actually what happens here is that once you play king d3, they go pawn, you take, they go pawn, you take, then they go king c1, and then if you take the queen, it's actually a stalemate. So the question is, if we go king check, e5 take, d4, bishop check, king c1, can we play their cute move? And I'm pretty sure the answer will be a fat yes. Something like knight c4 maybe? Oh no, the last check. What if I go bishop c3? Then we haven't created a threat. It's gonna be some nasty ass quiet move. Wait, did I say knight c4? That's it, because then I'm threatening bishop e3, right? How do I know it's a study? Yeah, well, yes, because I have solved thousands of those, and the piece arrangement is already screaming non-game-like scenarios. So, yeah, that's it. Fuck. So it's c5. Oh, because then we just break the stalemate. Oh, but now it's a different stalemate motif. But now we have got knight c4 check, and then we can just pick off the queens. So it's actually, unless I'm stupid, it was easier than I thought. Yeah, okay. So the point of this study was that the line I analyzed or tried to make work. Oh, shit. No! Can I go back? Yes! So the one that I wanted to do, the solution that is, was based on... Yeah, I know it's bad. I want to have a freaking analysis board, you bozo. And don't give me an anal board. Jesus wept. Technology, man. Okay, finally we get to analyze this poop. Right, so the line I wanted to do, but was based on the same idea, but here we do not have a useful move to dodge the stalemate trap. Not million hours, dime bag, but a lot more than most. It's not like I am sitting at home in my free time and I'm solving studies, right? So you don't have to be a complete antisocial nerd, but yes, you do need to do a lot more than usual. So here we don't have the knight check to kick the king, and I assumed incorrectly, I was too lazy to calculate, that I had some knight moves, and then actually it's quite fascinating. I even said this, that knight c4 here doesn't work because of the check, and then I forgot about it and went back to the exact same stupid idea, and I called it to be the solution. The problem is that even without the check, we don't have enough here, because if the queen just goes away, I don't have an actual mating net here. Alrighty, let's go on to some game anal that I prepared for today. You have 700 and you just beat this 1400 level bot. What does that mean? What that means, my friend, is that you have just figured out a very good reason why you shouldn't be playing against bots. So it means two things. You should be happy. Yay. Two, stop wasting your time playing against bots. That's what I call a win-win. Alright, so the game that I have for us today goes something like this. This is gonna be a very, very highly instructive, slightly low level stuff, but you never know. You never know. Right. Chess culture question. Oh, actually, let me very quickly get out the default, the Slav question out of the way. I'm not sure if my friend who asked the 95 question is still in the house. But let me tell you the answers. So there are three big lines here for black, yeah? One of them is e6, f3, bishop b4, e4, bishop takes e4. Take, bishop d2, queen takes d4, knight e4, queen e4, yada yada yada. Not exactly a big center for white. Yes, white is up a piece for 7,000 pawns. I'm not going to go into it. It's like theory for another 47 moves. No joke. So, no, white doesn't get a big center here. The second line, which is what I recommend in my course, goes like this. Knight d7, knight here, queen c7, g3, e5, take, bishop here, bishop g2, yada yada yada. Again, zero center for white. No. And finally, what is considered by many the safest / sturdiest line for black, but also the least fun, is this. Sorry, it's how does it go even? Oh, maybe it's e6, f3, knight d7. I think something like this. See, and this is the only line where you do get your big center. So 1 out of 3. Right, now back to my game. I've got 2 questions about this garbage. What is it called? What is the correct move against it? I played the bishop takes e4 line. Am I cooked? Absolutely you are. Like, why are you not playing a fun line where you get to have dynamic positions, potential to attack, lots of imbalances instead of playing an endgame that is never winnable for black? Also, it's such as that you don't have my course, which makes me very upset about life too. Why did black hang a pawn? Yeah, good question. They come from a land of where they call it a gambit. Now, the correct response to this is knight takes e5 every day of the week. But the game we are looking at features this wonky bishop move, which is playable, but not the greatest. The idea here is that after d5, white wants to play what? Yes, queen h5 is the idea. And after g6 takes, black can't take because they take rook knight. So they have to play knight f6, check. And apparently the main line here is to win a pawn and then bugger off. But now black has got some solid center, very nice development. This is not how we want to play chess. Anyway, black also chose a different line. They played queen g5 here. And from here on out, it's all on you. Riffle wants d4. Do we agree? Defo d4, indeed. Defo d4. What do we do after queen g2? This is where it gets real fun. This is where we're going to separate the boy from the man. There is a CC move and there is a very aggro, I'm going after you move. Which one do you pick, and which one is which? Yeah, the difficulty lies in the fact that the Queen H5 variation is more or less beyond the realm of calculable for most people. So at one point, you have to make a decision based on how far you can calculate it combined with your guts, which will either tell you that it's good or they'll tell you that it's bad. So let's see how far it is calculable. After Queen H5 G6, the only sensible follow-up move is Bishop F7 check, since Knight G6 loses to Queen G6. Yeah, so that's the first blunder potential. Shirogorov, welcome in. So we go Queen H5 check, G6, Bishop check. Now it's very annoying because it splits into two already. Right, but King E7 feels dodgy as hell because then after Bishop G5 it's only Knight F6, which we can take, check again. It doesn't feel right. It feels like Queen H5 G6 Bishop check needs to be met by King D8, when most checks can be dodged. Code, welcome in. Thanks for that sexy dono. And that's where we need to sack. Bishop G6, Queen H1, and just move the king up. And now you have got a myriad of threats. Dominantly Knight F7, but also Knight C3, Bishop G5 winning the queen. At this point, you begin to feel that you are creating one of those romantic masterpieces where white sacrifices both rocks, but kills black in the interim with all the developed pieces. So this is what it looks like. Check, check, take. This is the key move, with the idea of Knight F7 among others. Note that Knight F7 is not merely a take the rook kind of thing, because if you go King E7, then Queen E5 is mate. So they take the rook with check, we go King E2, and now we see what they do. In the game, there are two games for this position according to my source here. One went like this. Queen G2. Oh, no, wait. No, sorry. Actually, no. Everyone played his C6. Yeah, it does look like a Morphy game. It isn't one. Everyone played his C6. According to the engine, relatively best is to keep eating stuff and go into this variation. This is the double rucksack that I was talking about. And now if you take the second rook, check, check, and mate. Shout out to development. Yeah, so that once you see just one game like that, you must, by definition, make a tweak in your chess. And instead of being afraid of losing material like this, getting excited about the possibility of winning an absolutely marvelous game. Now, to be fair though, this line was not quite conclusive in the sense that when we went into this biz here, excuse me, rather King E7, and I played Knight C3. Of course, Queen takes C2 check is a shit ton better. But even here, they are in a world of hurt. It's gonna be very similar to the game. So most games here continued with c6, with the idea of vacating some squares for the king's escape. Then white plays knight c3 naturally, because now bishop g5 check threatens to win the queen. And this is how it went. They played e3, trying to block the path of the bishop and trying to exploit the fact that the bishop is pinned. But we know better. We know better, and we are once again not discouraged, but excited about the possibility of sacking the second rook. And that's exactly what they did. They took. And here comes the hardest move of the game. Chat to move, chat to win. Quite high, I'm back, Donny. But the better question is, what ratings do we need to have to appreciate the concepts that I'm demonstrating through this game, so that later on we can actually do these things in our games? Right? So the reason why as a beginner you need to engage with these ideas is not because we think that once you see it you will be able to calculate all of these to perfection. It is to wire your brain towards the right mentality, which here is that king safety and piece activity should always be preferred over a king queen that has played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 moves while everybody is at home. Because most club level players would refuse to consider here d4 to begin with, because g2 is hanging and then the rook is hanging with check. And then we go like, well, but what about the chess principle that we learned on Chess Lesson 1, when we learned that one is not meant to run out with their queen to hunt pawns? And so you need to reinforce that with games like this. Even if you can't calculate it, you need to see this type of thing as soon as you hit a 1000, potentially even earlier. Yeah, well, that's the thing, that most people learn chess badly. And because of they do that, their chess journey typically has these stages of learning a lot of things. Most of it are learned incorrectly, unlearning a lot of shit, getting very confused, learning it correctly. So it's like a very short spike with a drastic drop down, and then optimally a reasonably quick rise again. Anyway, so this is how the game went. We went c6, knight c3, e3, and of course we go like, well, you can have the rook for all you like. We actually started with check, but that makes no difference. Queen a1, and I said this is the hardest move of the game, so what is it? And the irony is that the move is the only one to get into to win. Shirogorov, as usual, you're talking nonsense, but I choose to ignore you. Magnus Carlsen couldn't calculate this, my friend. But since you are trolling, I will leave it at that. Yeah, that's about right, Mr. Bagdoni. That is just about right. So what is our move? I think knight b5 may even be capturable. Because after queen c5 I have knight c6. Bishop f4, d6, bishop d6, bishop d6, queen d6, king b6. I don't think there is mate there. So, no. I mean, I'm very happy for you to tell me knight b5, but I want a conclusive line. Queen a5 is really bad. Wait. Yeah, it is bad because b6. And if bishop check, just d6. Yeah, you're right about that, Dimeback Donny, too, that it's not only a chess thing, but it's every competitive sport. The difficulty about chess, in my opinion, is that if you are a complete beginner, when you are learning it and you are learning it wrong, you don't necessarily, in fact, almost inevitably, you have zero feedback to know that you're doing it wrong. Whereas with physical sports, it's quite likely that reasonably early on you can judge that the way you are learning it is bad, or the way you are being taught is bad. I like to rely on tennis because that's what I do. And because I watch an awful lot of very high level tennis, I have a very good understanding of what I am working towards, even though I also know that I will never accomplish it, right? So if I am taught something that looks, feels drastically different from what I'm hoping to model, then I would be beginning to question that, right? But in chess, you feel so clueless when you start out that no matter what new information you learn, you feel grateful for it because it's new things that you learned. And so it's extremely unlikely that you begin to critically analyze the information you are given and go like, well, I'm not sure that this is the right way to learn this game. And so an awful lot of people learn an awful lot of horrible habits and still hit 1012, 1400 without any problems before we had hit a massive plateau and we go like, why did no one tell me this? Why did no one tell me that? Like, here I am now with, you know, almost a complete player, so to speak, with nothing but bad habits. It's rough. This is another reason why coaching is so important, as in to do it in a good way. Yeah, right. So it's not queen a5, it's not knight b5. And chess with Ovi is on the money. It is actually the absolutely shocking queen g5 introducing mate on d8. By the way, shout out to Mr. Nova Chess Guy. I think he tuned in the interim. Yes, you should be. So what's the point of the move? What are we going to do after bishop e7? It looks like we are forcing a sensible move. But the point is that now we get to stretch the defense too thin. Hello, Mr. Joel. Bishop f4. No, Tanner, you are good. You're good. And now after d6, we exploit the fact that the bishop is overloaded. It's meant to cover d8 against the mate, and it's meant to cover the pawn on d6. Not workable. And now we have got a forced mate. Which is calculable. So now bishop d6 is met by checkmate in 1. King b6 is met by checkmate in a few. Something like this. Whoo! Hello? Shirogorov, I really am getting super grumpy with your crap. So A, stop typing in capital letters. 2, stop talking utter nonsense. Thank you. Holy moly. Tanner!
Game analysis.
Because he said that 4 times in capital letters. Both of them are obnoxious. I don't know how aware of you are of internet etiquette, but typing in all caps is the equivalent of yelling. You don't yell at people in general when you are in a social situation. In particular, you don't yell the same stupid crap 4 times in someone's face. That's why. Yeah, welcome, Midas. I did see your email, buddy. I will get back to you. Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you, mate. Right, now I lost my train of thoughts because of stupid nonsense going on all the time. Right, so bishop e7 loses to bishop here, falls mate. The game continuation, so the super cool. Actually, this was the game. This was exactly the game. Knight a4. King here. Knight c5. King back. Knight c5 is very cool, by the way. Now after bishop takes, we have got this check. Here and queen takes. This is absolutely breathtaking. We have got 4 pieces out against utter backrank fest. So delicious. No forced mate yet now, but it's coming. Bishop takes b5 is the main threat. So if I play, let's say, knight f6 to develop my first piece, knight d6, and now bishop b5 is going to be mate. So after the check, they drop back to b6. And now came knight d6, which is not even the best move, but it's so aesthetically pleasing. Like, black is just completely busted. Queen is hanging, everybody is back at home, and now bishop takes g5 is beautifully mated. Look at that. Look at that. Knight takes, king a5, knight b7. King a6, knight a5, king back. Now we have eliminated the pawn. So that means, whoopsies, that I'm talking rubbish, that there is no block here. Woo, baby. King here, check, king here, check, king here, and mate. You only need to play one game like this in your life, and your life is complete as a chess player. One game. One game. So after knight d6, the game concluded as such. They went knight a6, which regrettably allowed a very, very rapid... wait, no, I'm talking rubbish. Wait. I'm always struggling when I'm reading a book. It's actually... That's totally not how the game went. Oh, that is mental. So the game went checking here. Knight check. And it didn't go knight c5. They went bishop d3 actually. My bad. Which was actually a blunder. I can't tell you that sadly meters now, but I will tell you in a DM. It's a very old, very unknown book. Knight check, knight d6. Knight a6. And now we have got a four's mate on our hands. With all checks. And it's one of the nicest mate in fives I've ever seen in my life. So I would like to give the pleasure to the chat to find it out. It is absolutely mental. All checks. As they tend to be. Chess with Ovi, I would recommend you a move or a switch, because knight c4 first is a hell of a lot more forcing than knight a4 first. Knight a4 allows black 2 responses, knight c4 allows 1. So by definition, you prefer that. Yeah, Davis has the solution, guys. So the way it goes is check, check, and then you know that if you don't sack your queen, you don't play the game. So queen b5 takes, check, and mate. Which is the prettiest game you're going to see all day. Potentially all year. This is what chess looks like when it's played well. Exactly, that's what I said. That if you play one game like this, you can consider your chess life complete. Alright, so I've got a fair bit to do now. I've got a game from Cody, I have got a game from Tana, and Bowen Diplom wants me to have a look at something as well. Yeah, nothing like blundering in to win. The new system of Chess.com is really bad. The old layout was a lot better. Everything was better about the old setup. Anyway, okay, let's start with Cody. And then on to Tana. Yeah, it did look like a magic trick. Alright, so this is Laska. Oh, Laska. I think Laska is also in the chat right now. Was this a daily? Yes, it was a daily. Oh, these boys are absolutely smashing. Theory like troopers. That's what we like. Delicious in chat gambit. It's okay, I can deal with that. It's okay, I can deal with that. Midas, I really do hope that this is not the game of your life. Okay, so all good so far. It's all theory. No wackerinos. Yep, very good. These boys are cranking out my opening course all the way. Yes, it is, which is why I very heavily... Yes, it is, Midas, but don't worry about it. It's okay. It's all good. Which is why I always question the value of daily games. But it does give you the liberty, especially when you have got 4 wives and 20 kids, that, you know, if in mid-game someone starts, you know, demanding your presence elsewhere, if you are in a strict time control game, you can't go anywhere. Whereas if with a daily, you can leave it and pick it back up again whenever you like. But yes, it's problematic in that regard, Nova. You are correct. Indeed. Yeah, this is the move that I wouldn't be in a hurry with. Because this makes the structure rigid, per my latest YouTube video, by the way. And the upside is that the gaps created between the pawns and the light squares, and we do have a light squared bishop and they don't. But still, this came at a very hefty cost of making this a fat pawn at best. And now we actually have to bury this even worse. So now we have got an absolutely glorious light squared bishop, but we did it at a cost of creating a fat pawn. Now you could argue that that's a fat pawn anyway, but it's not quite the case, because now the white minor pieces are also completely useless because all central squares have been denied from them. So yeah, d4 is a bit, yeah. And then I also very strongly dislike c6, as much as I understand the desire behind the move, which is to find at least a semi-meaningful purpose in life for the bishop. h3. I wish I could understand that move there. The hell is h3? Hello? Is there anyone in the house who understands h3? I don't know, it felt loosening to me. I feel like there is some action coming, which I'm about to uncover, dusting in a second. So yeah, h3 is the textbook case of why. Why are we playing moves that we know? Why are we playing bad moves that we know are bad? See, so if the idea is g4, then naturally what you want to ask yourself is that why don't we do just knight h4? Because this is how you should be thinking. If the idea of h3 is g4, then we have to be very realistic about it with ourselves and admit to ourselves that in fact the idea of g4 is to play f5. So the plan is never g4. The plan is always f5, right? Let's not beat around the bush. You don't play h3, g4 and you just leave it there. No, you play it because you want f5, which is the correct thinking. However, if the idea is f5, then why the hell are we playing h3 and not knight h4, f5? Yes, I did, Cody, but it's two different levels of evil, so I really don't want to waste more time on that. And now if bishop g4, then you actually get to play h3 with the tempo. Hello. And if the bishop goes anywhere else, you're good to go f5. About 5 moves sooner than what h3 would allow. So yeah, that was not good at all. Also, it has allowed bishop a5, shout out to Cody, reviving the bishop. So the other idea here that would have been very fascinating to observe is this. Completely shredding the pawns apart. And I think black is in severe trouble here. Because it can't take, because after queen b4, maybe even knight d4 first, but queen b4, we have got problems with castling. No, I don't think so, Jazz, but it's a good proposition. So knight h4, bishop e4, queen e2. Bishop d5, and I will pop on g4, and the kingside attack, f5, rook e1. It's gonna sweep everything in its way. Already knight f5 is extremely difficult to meet because check is incoming, this is hanging, and castles is likely gonna get killed. Like all of a sudden white is just storming the kingside with everything they have. Like we're completely cooked here with black. We're playing a piece down. And all hell broke loose on the kingside. Yeah? Yeah, so Yan, if you want to play f5, then why don't you play for f5? So that's the issue there. Yeah, you are right. The bishop on d5 looks absolutely spectacular. The problem is that that's as good as it gets. So now queen d5, and I actually prefer black every day of the week because now both bishops are useful. My queen is in a commanding position. In some cases, I might even be able to play rook d8 c4, and I don't see what white is doing. Yeah, castles is fine. Why is this d7 and not d5? Hello, Brazy. Yeah, dusting and flying, that's part of the plan, but c4 always hangs d4, so you really have to time it perfectly. I don't understand queen d7. Why don't we go queen d5 here? I refuse to understand, Cody, refuse to accept that you don't understand why a piece is better placed here than here. Oh, is it? Really? Okay, so humor me, please. How is this queen going to be attacked in the next 20 moves by white? Pray to tell me, please. I'm gonna grab some water while you assemble all the lines where the black queen is gonna be attacked in that center position. Good luck. c4, my good friend, is hanging. It's not playable. It never will be. Even if it was protected by something else, I can also unpass on it. So, no. Like, this is why you need to always combine chess principles with common sense, right? So this queen is subject to attacks in 400 ways. That's the principle, right? That we don't bring the queen out early to the middle because it's easy to attack with developing moves with tempi, right? I attack you. Yeah, you go here, I attack you again. And I just keep on playing moves that attack the queen every single time with the tempo. So there is a principle and there is a concrete justification. Here it is completely the opposite. Here the queen stands marvelously in the center because it has impact on both wings. It supports central push and it can't be attacked. It's actually the exact opposite of what you thought. There's no way that this queen will be attacked. Not now or in 2 moves time, ever. Forget about it. It doesn't happen. And you need to be able to apply these thoughts to yourself. And by the way, you do know this. Like here, d4 takes, queen takes. Not exactly a great move because again, the queen gets pushed around. But we also know that if we do the same story with knights involved and we do this, here actually knight takes by black is a bad move. Because now the queen is in a commanding position in the center, can't be attacked. We're missing a knight. So just a little tweak and the principle is out of the window. Yeah, the Scotch is the exact same. Like d4 here, you get kicked around. No bueno, right? As soon as we are in the Scotch, you don't take on d4 twice because this queen is actually not targetable. It's a very beautifully placed piece. And after a few more developing moves, you see how handy it was that we got the queen out. We enhanced our advantage noticeably. So I have no idea how you thought that this queen would get into trouble here. You didn't actually. You merely went like, ooh, I'm not supposed to put the queen there. Yes, you are correct about the principle. Its application, however, was completely wrong. No, please don't talk to me about second h3. Like, this really irks me. Like, this makes no sense. Like, this is not a chess move. I saw the chat and like 10 of you like, surely he wants... No, he didn't. Because this makes no sense at all. You have no right to sack here with black. Like, based on what? A sack like this, to succeed on a principle level, I stretch, requires the following things. A weak king. It's not weak. 2. Majority of attackers versus defenders. Hello, all white pieces are defenders. You have one attacker. Like, before you even think about it, you know that this move is destined to fail. It's a catastrophic idea here. Like, it doesn't exist. I would need this bishop to be like somewhere here and the knight somewhere here for it to be a remotely feasible idea. It's laughable. Yeah, here we go, king. Oh, fucking hell. Oh, Jan. Good old Lasker. So tell me, brother, the plan was g4, right? So let's now have a bit of a fun discussion about why we didn't do it. Humor me, man. Humor me why we didn't play g4. I can't wait to hear the answer. And the answer will be this. And I want you to listen to this because this is going to be another very instructive segment. After takes, black is going to get 3 pawns and my king is totally unsafe. Yeah? That's how a lot of people would evaluate this position on sub 2000 level. On 2000 plus level, the evaluation of this would sound like this. The pawns are completely irrelevant For all I care, you could have 10 pawns. It wouldn't matter. Because for the pawns to matter in an evaluation which is based on material, they would need to have meaning, purpose. And the meaning of having more pawns is that you have the potential to advance and promote them. Not happening. My king is not weak. Yours is. This is another concept that people find very difficult to understand. But here I am telling you again for the 10th time, not counting my beautiful course that covers this topic. A king is weak if it's vulnerable to an attack. There is no attack here. None whatsoever. Black has a single queen. Forget about it. The attack is gonna be played by white by moves of rook g1, bishop f6, queen d3, knight g5. You get the gist. It's going to be very quick and very painful death for black, and it's gonna end up in an attack on this king. That's the target, not this one. That is the evaluation, roughly, of correct evaluation of this position. Forget any attack for black. Forget about the number of pawns. Neither of them are relevant. Relevant things here: extra piece, attacking potential for white on the open file, and utilizing the pieces in the vicinity of the king. That's it. Forget about it. It's like +2 at the very least for white. So h3 was of course the way to go, and g4 was the way to go, but we didn't do it with white. Instead we played king h2. Okay, I dig it. b3, yeah. I would still want to go queen d5 and play for c4 somehow. Oh god, please, Gregory, stop. Thank you for that, but don't send any more games, guys, because I will have to call it a day in about an hour, and I still have a lot to go through. Right, okay, this is a terrible blunder, though, because we just walked into d3, right? Hello? d3, incoming? Like, this had to be rook c1, yeah? And then, by the way, because we spoke about material earlier, we are going to throw a pawn away in order to activate our rook. That looks like chess to me. Yeah? Now, I don't get this. After rook b1, isn't d3 game over? I mean, it's not quite instant resignation, but it's very close, yeah? Because after take, queen takes, bishop takes, forks the two rooks. Again, Cody, I refuse to acknowledge your question. There's no way that you don't understand that this threatens to take, and that take creates a fork. You saw both of these things. So, no, I'm not buying into you saying I don't get what this does. Yes, you do. 100%. Now, it's not insta-resign, because here I think I get to dodge the bullet with something like rook c1. And then things are actually still quite complex. But worst case scenario, you go take, and take. And we have got a very, very strong endgame with the two bishops reigning supreme. Bishop a7 is a bit pesky, but I like it a lot. The harder move here, which is a lot more likely to yield a win, is c4. When queen takes, bishop takes means that you can't take this because that hangs, and rook takes b3 is winning next. Game over. And if they take c4 instead, then bishop b2 traps the exchange. That was a hard line. But finding d3 was not hard at all. And you didn't need to see the hard line to play d3 because the inferior line is still better for black. Yeah? Which was the queen trade followed by take b3. Well, I guess I understand this move though, so no biggie. But d3 was definitely screaming to be played. Yeah, I definitely prefer black here. Definitely prefer black here. Rook e6. I don't like this move. Mostly because I think that we are living in this fairy tale land where we are going to play rook h6 and bishop takes h3. And that's just not it. Yep. Yep. Yeah, we are in complete denial here with black, so we completely needed to play his center and queen side. For example, an interesting idea here, after knight e1 would have been c4. Take, 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 and c5. And we managed to eke out a very, very delicious target, which, once captured, gives us an unstoppable pass pawn scenario here. Maybe. I also still like queen d5 a lot with the idea of c4, which I think is what I would play here, because that's very human. I had very strongly dislike rook e6. Not because it's so bad, by the way. Objectively, it's not that bad. But the idea that this is how we are going to win this chess game is incredibly naive. And knight c5 was a beautiful tactic. Well done to Lasker. Let me show you, Cody, a very simple pointer for you to decide about why this was no-go and why this was go. Yeah? Which side of the board do you have more space? That's where your answer is. Well, then what are you doing here, my good friend? That's not your playground. That's by definition their playground. This is as simple as that. Boys, this was a really, really fun game to go through. I think it was very, very instructive in many, many ways. So I'm very glad that you did play it. Very, very glad. Good stuff. It was a really fun game. One of the funnest games we've gone through. And I'm particularly happy that it was 2 people currently in the chat anyway. So it was to the benefit of 2 people, not 1. Mr. Yan, you should send a massive shout out to Cody who paid for this. Yeah, I think there was a lot of very delicious takeaways from this one. Yeah, very good game. Okay, on to Tana. And then on to Mr. Harrington afterward. What do you mean you're happy to? Oh, happy to send the game. Thank you. Yeah, that was good. Oh, God. No! Like... Ugh! Nothing, I'm streaming and not being dramatic. Ja, nem kell hozzá semmi saláta, mert ezekben van elég szósz meg bizbasz. Kinoa meg 2 húsfajta. Véletlenül, mert útba volt. Okay. Alright, so how many times have you heard Tanner me saying we are not releasing tension in the center without reasons? What? Mitä kynkienä? Yeah. How many times have we heard not releasing tension? I hope that Mr. Nova is still in the house because he got an earful last time when we analyzed his game, so he already knows the drill. This is not part of your thinking. The same way how Queen D6 is not part of your thinking. Don't ever do this again. What this, my friend? I would actually prefer Queen D6 than CD4, you're right. Yeah, tell me about Bishop D7, please. Sorry. I'm switching screens. So please tell me about the meaning of this move, because the chat would like to understand it. Okay, so hold on a second. What if they don't fall for knight b4? Because what you're telling me right now sounds to me like I want to go for a cheap trick at all cost. And I have no idea whatsoever what I'm going to do if that fails. So let me ask you this question. Is your bishop well placed on d7? Let's go with a very simple yes, no. Is it well placed on d7? Yeah, I think that's actually a good idea. If there is any video editors in the house who would like to do that for me, please hit me up. Very good. So Nova Chess Guy is giving you the answer, which is the best answer, by the way, there is. That this is definitely... Well, actually, no. I don't like the answer because it says it's not the best place. That indicates that it has merit. In my book, this move has no merit. And so the correct approach to this is that no, that's the yes and no, no. The bishop is not well placed on d7. Don't put it there. Now, here comes a very logical second question, which is that, okay, so where do I put it then? At which point, my next question is that who said that on move 8, if you are black, you must at all costs move your bishop? Yeah, but that's the only piece that hasn't developed. True. So why don't we castle? Because we know 100% that that's where that goes. And then decide after what I'm doing with this guy. And here comes the craziest ideas of all times. Even here, we are not reduced to 2 bishop moves. Because I have a coach who tells me that I need to play in the center. So, since my bishop has nowhere good to go, I'm still holding it back, and I'm favoring ideas like conquering the center. Also note that now if I go bishop g4, there is knight e5. I'm not interested in forcing this. After knight h5, now I can go bishop g4, there is no knight e5. So, did you make a bad move by playing bishop d7? No. Did you make a good move by playing bishop d7? Also no, and that's a bigger no. Because now you are following a plan, which is not a plan. It's a silly one-move tactic. And when you are done with that, you are going to find that you have no idea what to do. I'm betting my life on it that things are going to go sideways, or would have gone if they hadn't blundered into this. So if at this point white goes queen d1, you would have had some issues about what all of this is all about. So, yeah, but I'm gonna move on because this is not the reason why things went... Oh, we actually won this game like troopers. Okay, well, your opponent sucked in the one-move tactic that should have never ever been overlooked. So, shout out to both of you. B5. Huh. Chat, what is your gut reaction here? What does your gut tell you here to play with black? What is your gun to the head, 5 seconds to play? What would you play? Please don't say castle. That's the only one that I'm not disallowing. Like, use your brains. Castle is the brain dead move. But if you were actually allowed to use your brains for 5 seconds. Hello, ZJ. I find it absolutely fascinating that no one has gone to the right direction. Bert is the only one who is close to the correct idea. Thank you, Cody. Welcome to Common Sense. What does my opponent want to do? Castles. That lines up queen. I want to play bishop b5. Because they don't have a light square. As soon as you take this, and you have light squared bishops and they don't, bishop, singular, and they don't, you go like, whoa, this is delicious. This is delicious. Where can I hurt them? Hello, bishop b5 next. There is no way that at this point after queen takes you don't look at these two diagonals. I will get rid of it this one and this one. This is not doable. So you think about, do I have productive moves that prepare it? a6 is not good because it's met by a4 and this has been denied for life. Queen b6 develops the queen, threatens queen b2 and adds bishop b5 to the equation. Hello? Tell me it was hard. And I'm gonna argue forever. No, a4 is not playable because now I just mow down all the pawns. That's the point. That's why queen b6 is so vastly superior to a6. Thank you, Jazz, for, of all people, you coming up with that absolute bollocks. No, it's super basic. And I tell you why it's super basic. Because 9 out of 10 of you went bishop f5, which is the right idea. You want to exploit the light squares. You were just not thinking about how to best do that. It really isn't a hard move at all. It's a matter of thinking right. In strong contrast, I don't know what we're doing here. I mean, technically, a minority attack is called for. But if that was the way, I would have definitely castled first. Yeah, it's a bit weird. What your opponent is doing, however, is above and beyond weird. Now, needless to say, because of you know how my brain works and you know what I wanted to play, right now a5 is a slap in the face because b4 was good to go, takes queen b6, and the dual threat guarantees that black is golden. Your opponent completely forgot to show up to this game. Finally. Very good. That's good chess, Tana. That's what I want to see. Put your pieces in the center, mate. In the center. Very good. Very good. Yeah, don't go into what the frick was knight h2, please. Yeah, the guy is delusional. Completely delusional. This is a textbook case, by the way, of geniuses think that they are the ones attacking. Yeah, that's glorious. This is it, man. Very nice. Mate. Knight is hanging. Thanks for coming. Get out of my game. Wait, what? Took h5? Okay. Do you want to see a move that is gonna make you go like, what? Check. Checky, checky, checky. Checky, 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 checky. Now it is good to eat all the pieces because you're not getting mated. But everything you play is fine. Like, this is totally, completely winning too. No question. And I believe that take, and then any legal chess move is also winning. The rook check is still very powerful. The point of the rook check, by the way, I want everyone to see this, is that after take, check, and take, you are actually pinning the pawn, so they can't take on g6, which would create some very serious perpetual check chances. But that's the key. Oh, you did it now. Now it's even cooler, actually, because now we will have an IG3 check, royal forking the whole family. So the idea here was that after check, king e2, we have this check. Bearing in mind, it's a blessing in disguise, or rather a curse in disguise, because our queen is also hanging. Köszi, anyukám. Ó, ez nagyot lett volt az uborka. Okos vagy. Húst nem kapok?
Nem, elég is.
Csak cinkellek. Alright, excuse me, but yeah, this was actually probably one of the less clean ways of going about life. Mukbang is mukbang in Hungarian too. Oh, that was my lovely mother bringing me food. So they played king f1 because they love dying instantly. Good stuff, Tana. Opening was a bit shaky. But other than that, it was all G. Alright, on to Mr. Harrington. This is gonna be another high-profile encounter, I'm pretty sure. We're playing against Bozo Chess. Interesting name. Mr. Harrington, what time control was this? Oh, 92-93% game. Right. We all love analyzing those. We are white. Okay. What the? E3? The only reason I'm not walking out of the room now is because I have got food to eat. But like, what the heck, man? Your coach should be murdering you for this. It can't even be mouse slip because e4 is hanging. Yeah. What? What are you doing, bro? Did you give your account to your mother or something? Or what's happening? This is awful. If I were a coach, we wouldn't have gotten to the queen b3 part, because, like, what are you doing, man? Like, hello, openings. Thankfully, your opponent is blissfully ignorant to how badly you are playing this. Why is it not f3, brother? Hello? Trestari, welcome in, buddy. Hey, hey, hey. f3 is absolute slaughter. Bishop f4, bishop e6, knight f4. On your bike, the game is over. Bishop g4, you can go here. Bishop f5, you can go g4, knight f4. You can take this first. And we also have e4, absolutely murdering our opponent. What is happening here? Mr. Gregory, this is disappointing from your usual standards. It was still f3 every day of the week, so they can't take on here, not h3. Like, it's screaming obvious that this bishop is stuck because of the knight is here and it has no retreat squares. So f3 again. Trapped. Killed. Ay, 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 ay. I would have preferred you to play something like rook d1, carry out e4, and then put this bishop on a meaningful square. That is the same mistake that Tanner plays, that, oh, where am I going to put the bishop? Well, let me tell you where. Not here. Not here. That's where you are not going. Because that's not development, that's just moving it. e4, I think maybe a bit too soon here, because d4 is a bit tender. And now all pawns are hanging and we are somewhat poorly developed still. Yeah, I was also looking at b3, bishop b2, but I'm not 100% committed to that. Definitely would prefer it over bishop d2. I mean, I would prefer everything over bishop d2 here, to be honest, but rook d2 or b3 for sure. For sure. This food was bloody amazing, but the portion was adequate for a 5-year-old. We'll have to do seconds on this one. Okay. I'm not quite sure why we are taking this if the plan is this. Paprika, chirika. No, these were actually Asian dishes. My wife's sister had her birthday yesterday, and as proper Filipinos, they give you about 7 bucket loads of food when you leave their house. Yeah, this CD makes no sense to me. Welcome to the club of releasing tension for absolutely zero reason. Nova Chess Guy and Tanner could give you a lesson on why this should not be played. And now we are playing it at the only time when it's potentially a blunder. Yeah, I have no idea what you're doing, buddy. But yeah, e4 doesn't seem feasible here whatsoever. Oh! You sucked in this tactic. Oh my god, a student of mine played this the other day and it was actually unsound in that game, but here I think it is deadly. Nice, nice. Good job. How the hell is this 93%, buddy? Classico. So the reason why this is not good is because now after knight c5 we take this and we win. Midas is asking a very, very good question, which goes like this. Why don't we put this knight on a sensible square, where it covers c5, allows you to ultimately jump in once we relocate the rook, rather than knight d1, where it does nothing? Good question. I have no answers. Well, you just blundered the piece here, so I have no idea how it's 8. I don't think you are correct. I will check it. Okay, and then he decided to blunder 47 pawns. That's interesting. I mean, I know people who would have taken on h3 here, right? Let's just go with that. I know a guy who would have considered this. Not sure what you think. Wait a second, did we win this game? No, we didn't. I'm like, if we won this, I'm like, what? Alright, I don't think it's 92. I think it was about 84.
Cool.
Apparently it's 91. With 2 mistakes and 1 blunder. How is that 91? It never ceases to amaze me. I remember I played once a game, 0 blunder, 0 miss, 0 mistakes, 88 score. 88. No joke. Well, I don't know, brother. Well, part of the reason is because the accuracy score, yeah, let's not go into it, but it's greatly impacted by the resistance that your opponent has put up, which was rather ignorable in this game. And therefore a lot of suboptimal moves were still considered to be okay because your opponent played garbage chess and they didn't have an opportunity, barring the blunder, to punish your play. Thank you for the sub, ZJ. Appreciate you, man. Yeah. Alright. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. I think that I got through my dues today. So, all things being equal, I think I'm gonna call it a day here. Yeah, I already went through that, Midas. That this wins. Yes, that's the whole idea. Thank you for the tuning in. Thank you. Appreciate it, ladies. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna read you off, folks. And I will see you sometime next week. I'm not sure yet when yet, but sometime. Potentially tomorrow, actually. Yes, tomorrow has a strong potential. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. Cheerio, lovely humans.
Can go back for it.